Hey, what's up? Hey, I'm at this McDonald's here. I come here almost every day. Sometimes I spend a considerable amount of time talking, just to myself usually, right? Because I'm only talking to myself. But, one day I was here and I found something, and I was actually here with another, guest. It's my appraiser and my real estate lady. There was this article in the Dallas Morning News talking about how there was fierce competition in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for families looking for housing. I was very concerned about this because I didn't think it was actually very accurate. I got my notes elsewhere. I also got the paper I found. It just so happens today when I was downtown leaving the area, I found yesterday's Dallas Morning News on the street. There's a number of things in here that are notable. But I just want to run through something I did on the train on the way up here. Home buyers spooked by spike in mortgage rates, say builders. The editor should not have allowed that headline. Let's just put it that way. Skyrocketing prices are also keeping many on the sidelines. There's a competition in town this week, right? A youth sports competition, right? I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but I'm going to talk about this. Right here it says, second paragraph, builder confidence in the market for newly built U.S. single-family homes fell 8 points to 69 from April to May, according to the National Association of Home Builders and Wells Fargo Housing Market Index. That is the lowest reading for builder sentiment since June 2020. Then it goes on to talk about the NAHB had 35 years that measure builders' perceptions of current home sales and sales expectations. And it talks about a score of higher than 50. In the survey, builders reported that they experienced the lowest level of buying activity since July 2020. Let's go back here. What's 69? That's 3 times 23, right? 3 times 23. What are we dealing with right here in Texas? At least we have been, as of what this would have been 10 days before the 1-year anniversary on a 3 times in the middle of a 72 and a 73 in order to work the conversion, right? And then not only that, this goes to the National Association of Home Builders, 1974. What happened on May 15th of 1974 right here in Dallas in regards to the National Association of Home Builders, right? Do we want to talk about that yet? That would be what, 48 years ago. Then it talks here about 35 years. What are we working with for 35 years? Right here specifically in the state of Texas, including as concerns the Natural Resources Code, but also concerning the fact that, if I am not mistaken, we are in the 35th to 36th year of a 40-year policy regarding the military pension systems. I've been talking about this for years. As in the Congressional Register, the CRS report, and discussed how at the time they passed the bill, they had only budgeted for income for 35 years, despite the fact that the program that was being authorized by the Congress was for 40 years, leaving 5 years of indeterminate income. This is the period we're in right now, which is why, for instance, those changes to the legislation in the last session last year in the state of Texas, during the regular session, not the special sessions, regarding the changes to the annuities laws, as well as other laws, I contend were evidence of ongoing problems that we've been having to deal with for a considerable amount of time. Nobody's been talking about directly. Just this morning, I got a 3 for 3, right? Just this morning. But here's the other thing here, July 2020. What happened in July of 2020? They're talking about lowest level of buying activity since July 2020. There's another reference to right here. A lot of people compare what's happening now to when the market turned back in 2008, and it's a very different situation now, Wilson said. Back then, the quality of traffic was pretty abysmal. The traffic today is still very good. No. July of 2020 was the 10th anniversary of the AIG stock buyback, after they had offloaded their stock to Congress as part of the 2008 banking bailout. During that time frame, there was also a case before the Supreme Court regarding material misrepresentation to shareholders from AIG that flipped to Goldman Sachs the same year, as is being discussed right here. Not only that, what ended up happening in August of 2020? By August of 2020, FHA was talking about refinancing on very comprehensive terms, while other things were going on with various federal agencies. But more than that, what ended up happening in April of 2020? The FHA produced an index on April 8th that had information that was supposed to be a housing index that was going to be used for the upcoming period. However, reports that had been available for several agencies, including for FHA, had been altered. The information in the reports within the 3 months up to them were different than they were the year before, including reports with the Office of the Comptroller of Currency discussing how the country was at that period of time going through a period where mortgages were leaving the time frame during which they had to pay on interest, and we're moving into the period where more and more mortgages were going to be paying on principal. And then not only that, but that it was correlating with a period where the gas and oil sector had temporary 5-year loans that were supposed to start coming due when? Not in 2022, which is what they ended up saying after July of 2020. But here's the thing that's really the most noticeable thing to me that's very disturbing. Not only the 5% and the 5.25%, but this thing right here. Quote, those are real dollars and are exacerbating the affordability crisis, ... said Phil Crone, C-R-O-N-E. Executive Officer of the Dallas Builders Association. You mean DBA Crone? I'm serious. Is that why you're flipping 26ers? How many Crones got flipped to other Crones? That's exactly what I just saw today. How many Crones got flipped to other Crones using Crone? I want to know. How many women are first-time home buyers now dealing with a market where the terms aren't quite so good? But they're not really first-time home buyers because they should have been first-time home buyers 5 years ago. But somebody's been holding out on them for 5 years, so now the market's different. How many of those Crones can get the loan on their own? Right? And then we got to deal with this at the end. I love this part here. I didn't even know this guy. Who is this guy? Green Brick CEO James Brickman. That's exactly the way you wanted to end this, isn't it? Exactly the way you wanted to end this. Now, is there something substantive in here to deal with? Well, yeah, right? But those are things that should have been dealt with for the last 5 years. No, not the last 5 years. The last 14 years. No, not the last 14 years, right? We're coming up on 30 years. When did FHREA get passed? No, we're going back to 1974. May 15th, 1974. Home Builders Association Conference right here about women home builders. Dallas, Texas.